I want to talk about AI tools for human creativity, something that's top of mind for all of us on my team and me personally. I think there's these two extremes. Right now, it feels like everything is changing, right? It feels like you're constantly needing to keep up with the newest models, the newest tools, and everything is changing all the time. At the same time, nothing is changing. When you actually start to play with these things, you kind of realize that you end up back in the same exact creative process that you really know and love. And so I'll hopefully share some examples of two extremes throughout some of these examples that I want to share. So when I started playing with AI models, Google has Gemini. You could do this with a lot of different models. I always start with playing, and for me that means drawing. This is one of the latest things I just did yesterday. So the newest kind of flavor of these models is video in and video out. This is with Google's latest model called Omni. But again, I just went back to drawing. Yesterday, I screen captured that top bit there of me just doodling and drawing a stroke, and I just gave it to the Omni model and I said, make it photorealistic red yarn. And I was kind of delighted that it actually kept a lot of my drawing there intact. It's kind of doing some unpredictable things, but again, it feels like the thing I drew. So it's almost like playing with the new material here. And that brings me to my next point, which is there's never been a better time now for anyone to start inventing their own tools. So I'm sure a lot of you are playing with like vibe coding. If you haven't, it's really easy. So many of these products now let you just describe an app that you want to make. Google has a bunch of tools that you can try, but there's honestly a lot of these available, and they're all pretty amazing right now that you can build apps. We have AI Studio where I build a lot of my apps. But the idea of vibe coding, I think, hints at a much larger idea, which is what some people call malleable software, which is, for decades now, we've always had to take the software that was written for us and you have to learn it. There's now a world where you can take any software you have, and if there's something that you don't like about it, you could just prompt it to tweak it, to work more the way that you want to work. We recently launched this product in Google Flow where you can actually start vibe coding your own tools. And it's been a blast to suddenly take apart these creative tools that I've gotten used to, drawing tools, animation tools, and suddenly make them your own. This was, one of my first experiences with animation was animation software, just frame by frame animation. In AI Studio, I quickly vibe coded my own stop motion tool that looked kind of like this, just a simple keyframe thing where I could draw on the canvas. And I quickly realized, well, why can't I be in the animation? So I took a photo of myself, and this hints at what Meredith was talking about I think we are at a point now where the models are getting better at taking the things that you want to lock down and that you care about and actually grounding them in your materials. So these kind of things are getting better for control. I gave it this photo of myself and I said, make me a sprite sheet with these 4 positions of the person jumping. And it looks pretty close enough to me jumping, so I'm actually perfectly fine with that. But then once I had me as a material in my tool, I was able to do this. But again, I hand animated this because I enjoy that part, right? I don't enjoy, having to create that sprite sheet, but I loved just painstakingly moving, frame by frame animation and having myself jump through here. Once I had this tool, there's infinite things you could do. I, put myself in a cube of orange Jello. I did a bicycle one. And again, I think when you invent your own tools, you can protect the parts of the process that you love and then decide what you actually want to kind of hand over to the system. I think one of the most exciting parts is creating with the physical world. And again, that's part of the nothing is changing part, is that we want to look around, we want to interact with the physical world, see things that you care about, and actually get inspiration from that. This is a simple app that I made where I kind of pointed at things on my kitchen counter, take a photo of it, and send it to the Nano Banana prompt to just say, hey, create me a clean image of this object on a white background. And this is really fun. You could see the images start coming in. They look very close to the actual object. I almost felt like this was a scanner for the physical world. I could grab something, that object, and kind of bring it into this world and then manipulate it in lots of different ways. Once that was in there, I could make it line art, make it a hologram, zoom in on it. And there will still be imperfections from it, but in terms of turning your physical world into raw materials that you could play with, it's really unlocked a lot. We grabbed this photo. We captured this rare moment of a skunk that visited our door once. We have no idea why. Just barely caught a photo of it. But I was like, well, now I can almost have that skunk and play with it. Get a close-up, get a side view. And it just unlocks a lot of possibilities here. One of the newest features is this new model called Omni. There's a lot of other models like Runway and other companies also have what they call video-to-video models. So everything I've shown you up to this point is usually text in or image in. Video as an input is really exciting now, and it sort of hints at the same thing of I'm capturing videos of my performance of picking up this glass water pitcher. And let's say I just want to keep that. I want it to still feel like mine. I want it to feel like my glass picture, but what if I just wanted to say, change the material of it once a second? And honestly, this stuff has been some of the ones I'm most excited about, where again, it still feels like mine. It's my hand, it's my performance, it's my counter, it's the exact movements I did, but suddenly able to do this thing that, I've never been able to do, and imagine it in different materials. The adherence to the structure of the picture is very, very cool. Here's another one, just touching the tea kettle, and I was thinking about learning, like what if you could see into objects like X-ray vision and learn about things? So it said, hey, when the hand touches the tea kettle, turn it to a 3D hologram and show it with full of boiling water. And it was quite cool what came back. It was really neat. I mean, I think you could see where a lot of the possibilities for this kind of thing is going. So again, that's taking the whole video as an input. This was one idea that my teammate Ben gave me. He said, hey, Alex, I think you should try shooting yourself in a mirror and almost acting out that way. So I shot myself in the bathroom mirror, and I would just touch the mirror and just playing with the different ideas of what would happen when you touch the mirror. So I tried a whole bunch of things. This one was the person's arm turns into reflective mirror material. And it was quite cool the way it the material kind of goes up. I don't know why I just decided to do, that one arm, turn it into a pencil sketch. It was kind of neat as well. Well, this is one of my favorites. The person transforms into a puppet version. Yeah, so I mean, I think that's one of the latest. Again, and I think this kind of goes back to the idea of everything is changing and nothing is changing. I have all of these, but I still feel like when I show these to my teammates and friends, we still ask the same questions, like, which one do we like? Is the pencil sketch one interesting? Kind of. I really find the puppet one interesting. Why do you find that interesting? We end up having the same exact creative critique conversations, and I think that's just the thing that we try to remember most of all, is the kind of gathering around and collaborating and keeping that part of the creative process the same.